The weather is unusually inclement for the time of year.
Let us hope it is so in Leningrad.
Ivan.
Adrian.
You are an old friend of Squiffy, yes?
Yes. He was my tutor at Cambridge.
Cambridge. It's good, very good. Tell me, what do you do in England?
I'm a freelance sculptor.
Very good. You know, of course, what this will entail.
Yes. Yes, I do.
There's no going back, you know.
No.
Excellent. We'll leave for Moscow tonight.
Wonderful. I think I'll be the best spy you've ever had.
Spy? Spy? No boyfriend of mine goes out to work.
The Iranian government has ridiculed the idea that the Ayatollah Khomeini may be dead. They say he hasn't even been arrested.
Doctors had to be called in following the result of the South Belfast by-election last week, when a man tried to punch the Reverend Ian Paisley in the mouth and fell in.
After months of argument, doctors have finally agreed on a definition of brain death. It's when you enjoy the Reader's Digest.
As you join us, the Chancellor has been speaking for over an hour and has said nothing of any great interest.
And I'm much moved, I must confess, by a series of petitions protesting at the very high level of taxation leveled against cigarettes, drink, and petrol. I've therefore decided to remove all duty on those items. Instead, I shall place duty of 100% purchase price on the following.
And here come the new items which will be heavily taxed.
Wheelchairs, white sticks, false limbs, glass eyes, and diarrhea medicine. Observers will notice I have deliberately chosen to penalize those members of the community who can't hit back.
So, no change there.
A very good evening to you, and welcome to Question Time. And with me here tonight, I have a very distinguished panel. First of all, a man widely tipped by many to be a future Prime Minister of England, Lord Carrington.
Good evening.
Next to him, the Liberal MP for Land's End South, Rudolph B. And to my left, and indeed to everybody's left, the sylph-like figure of Francis Morel.
Good evening.
And lastly, a man who I'm told is very popular throughout the country, but I personally can't abide him, Clive Jenkins.
Hello.
Could we have the first question, please?
In view of the fact that the Soviet Union has just launched 50,000 megatons of nuclear warheads against Britain...
Yes, yes.
Which will be arriving in approximately 4.5 minutes. What are the panel's views on Britain's future as a world power?
Yes, well, there we have it. A very topical question from Mrs. Johnson there. 50,000 megatons are on their way, and we're all going to die very shortly. Lord Carrington.
Well, leaving the Holocaust aside for a few minutes.
I'm sorry, I'm afraid we can't do that.
Now let me finish. Now let me finish. As I've said before, you have to view this kind of thing in global terms. It would be very easy for me to sit here and blame President for everything, and I'm sure that would give you something to talk about on your program. But you know, Great Britain is not an island.
Yes, well, I'm afraid it is, actually, Peter.
And we have to weigh up the pros and cons and get them to balance. And I would say that on balance, the world is about to be devastated by nuclear.
Holocaust?
Holocaust, as we mentioned
yes.
earlier. Now, some people might think that's a bad thing. Others might quite like the idea, I don't know. Don't come to me asking for a short answer to that one.
Yes, well, I wish I never had, in fact. Because we haven't got much time, and I'd like to go over to Rudolph B. Now,
we're all going to die!
Yes, well, short and to the point, as usual. Francis Morel.
Well, I'm amazed. I mean, we're sitting here talking about a nuclear holocaust, casually discussing the destruction of the entire planet, and ignoring the major issue, which is the appalling record of this Conservative government. And the real tragedy here is that 3 million people will die unemployed. And here, I would like to drone on about Tory economic policy insofar as it relates to everything else I've been saying.
Thank you, Francis. Relevant as ever. And now, Clive Jenkins, the Holocaust.
Robin, my member...
Yes, thank you very much, Clive.
No, I will have my say.
Yes, if you must.
At a moment like this, I wonder what Nye Bevan would have done. And I'm pretty sure he would have shot in his pants. The point is that while we are sitting here in this comfortable studio, the average trade unionist is down a coal mine.
Yes, well, I don't know about you, Clive, but that's precisely where I'd like to be right now. Well, another question. Mrs. Bentos of Cheltenham?
Yes. If the panel only had 30 seconds left to live, who would the panel most like to have sexual intercourse with?
Well, there we are, as I said. Time for a quick one, Francis.
Don't love it, need psychiatry. Don't like loving, just like getting laid. Go on singing till I'm hoarse. Am I sexist? Well, show us. I'm 42, my girlfriend's 8. I do as I please. You've only gotta smell me to catch my disease. I'm a headbanger, yeah. I like to bang my head. Bang my head. I'm a headbanger, and when I break my head, I bang my girl instead. She gives him head. I got marucas on my tongue, and I grow mushrooms up my bum. See this swelling in my pants? Well, that's a nest of killer ants. I eat raw meat. I like things weird. I got 3 Big Macs and a dildo in my beard. I'm a headbanger, yeah. I like to bang my head. Bang my head. And one day when my head falls off, I'll bang my neck instead. Neck instead. Bang it, and when I die, wanna be electrocuted, wanna fry. I'm a headbanger, yeah. I've got him overhead. I'm a headbanger, yeah. My brain is dead. I'm a headbanger, yeah.
That was a clip of Soft Cell live on Whistle Test last year. And now for all the frustrated wimps around, we've got Mark in the studio tonight. Hello, Mark.
Hi there, Annie.
Now, Mark, I must ask the question on everybody's lips. When's the new album due out?
Yesterday. No, there's been a lot of hassle with the recording company. I wanted to bring out a single album.
But they wanted a double with some old live cabaret recordings thrown in, which would be a real rip-off.
Right.
So that's what we're doing.
Right. And that is, in fact, what you're calling the album, isn't it? A real Now, Mark, you've received macho acclamo for Tainted Love, but lots of people in the music press have been saying that, in fact, you're a pretentious little jerk, and that you sing out of tune, and that, in fact, you have no control over anything you do. How would you answer that?
Balance.
Right, well, thank you, Mark Orman.
Well, she was certainly game for a laugh. Oh, you're right there, Ducky.
Well, moving on. Moving on. Here's a little tale that certainly had me up to my eyes in it. I'm standing outside the house of Geoffrey Lewis's house. Now, Geoffrey has always complained about his wife and the fact that he can't get a word in edgeways because she never stops talking. So, earlier today, we at Game for a Laugh came round to his house and cut his wife's head off. Now, I hear through my ears that Geoffrey's just coming round the corner. So let's see if Geoffrey Lewis is game for a laugh.
Let's hope he doesn't recognise me. He's arrived. He's getting out of the car now. Yeah, and he's going up to the front door. Yes, I think he's found her. Let's go and see if Geoffrey Lewis is game for a laugh. Come on. Hello, Geoffrey.
Oh, God! Oh, God!
Geoffrey, can I ask you why you're looking so perturbed?
My wife! The head!
Right.
You knew?
Yes, Geoffrey, we knew. But what you didn't know was that a couple of weeks ago, your wife rang us up and said you'd be the sort of fella who was game for a laugh.
Oh, I don't believe it. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh, this is unbelievable. You mean you guys cut a head off?
That's right.
And I came out and you were watching. What a bunch of loonies.
Great.
Just wait till I tell the wife. Just wait till I tell my brother. He's coming around this afternoon. We love your show.
What Geoffrey doesn't know is that Sarah's prepared a little reception for his brother. Geoffrey, we couldn't let you go. We couldn't let you go without you choosing a Game for a Laugh award.
But what Geoffrey doesn't realise is that only one of the boxes actually contains the Game for a Laugh award. The other three boxes contain a man trap, a tarantula, and a bucket of nitric acid. And he's chosen the right one, the meat mincer.
For a young man
some very bad news for you, I'm afraid.
Oh, really?
Yes, the tests came back from the laboratory, and you have the highest level of cholesterol they've ever seen.
Oh.
This may sound a bit premature, but when you die, would you mind leaving your body to me?
Well, if I can be of some use afterwards. For research purposes, I suppose.
No. I want to hang you up in the garden so the blue tits can peck at you.
I buy the Daily Telegraph because it doesn't try to tell me what to think. It just reports the news.
I buy the Daily Express because it informs me quickly, tells me what's going on, and lets me get on with my job.
I read the Financial Times because I've got a pink bathroom.
Have you got the talk wrench, Bob?
No, Bob. I think Bob's got it. Bob!
Yes, Bob?
Have you got Bob's talk wrench?
No, Bob, I haven't. Hasn't Bob got it?
No, Bob hasn't.
Oh, hang on. No, Bob's got it. Bob!
Yes,
Yes,
Bob?
Bob?
Bob says you got the talk wrench.
No, Bob!
Oh, sorry, Bob. Bob's got it.
Bob! Yes, Bob? No, not you, Bob. Bob, have you got Bob's talk wrench?
Bob must have it. Bob!
Oh, look,
No,
Bob,
Bob
you
says-
said you had it down here.
Bob,
had
Bob,
it yesterday.
I'll let you
Can
know.
you ask Bob further down?
The new BL ambassador. Hand-built by Roberts. Hello. I've just brushed my teeth with new Glee. You know, the wife's always buying these new products, but this one really is different. It's guaranteed to ward off bacteria. It's got extra ingredients for that added protection. And let's see now. It's scientifically approved, and for that gleaming sparkle, just wipe around the rim of the bowl and the U-bend at night.
Thank you, Tim. And now on to Holiday Habits, the part of the programme that prepares you for the quainter customs of some of the exotic places you might be holidaying in this year. Tonight, we look at Belgium, and in particular, Belgian eating habits. We have with us the Belgian chargé d'affaires, le comte de Froufrou. Hercule, we've heard that there are some extraordinary social habits connected with eating in your country. Is this true?
They may seem extraordinary to you, but to us, they are, how say you, small potatoes.
Yes, but we've heard, for example, that belching is a great compliment to your host.
Ah oui, c'est vrai. The satisfied guest will feel bounden to burp at the end of his meal.
But what if you really want to impress your host with how much you've enjoyed a meal?
Breaking wind is a high compliment. If after, or even during a meal, a guest blows off, then this is construed as high praise indeed.
Preferably audibly, I suppose.
Yes, Cliff. But even the hushed burst of wind, when it finally reaches the nose of the host, will not be misconstrued. Indeed, in certain circles, the tact of the silent waft is much prized. Whatever, your host will know that this meal is one of the finest you have ever tasted.
Yes, but what if you want to say, this is the finest meal I have ever tasted?
Not a very likely contingency in Belgium, my little chickens.
No, but let's say.
Well, for a truly exquisite banquet, vomiting is the highest praise.
Vomiting? Yes.
The implication of bringing up all over the table is that the meal was so splendid, you would like to eat it up all over again.
Well, that's really fascinating. Hercule, thank you very much for being on the programme.
I've enjoyed it very much.
True pizza Napoli! With extra mozzarella!
dozens of receivers, closed hundreds of factories, and there are thousands more teetering on the brink in Wales.
Mr. Wembley?
That's me.
I'm Claire Wimbush.
Oh, hello, lass.
I'm from the Youth Opportunities Programme.
Well, sit down, sit down, sit down. What can I do for you? Have a Rumbley's pie.
Oh, thank you very much. Mr. Rumbley, over the past 12 months, we've sent you 117 unemployed school leavers, and I'm here to see how they're getting along.
Yes.
You see, Rumbley's Pies and Sausages are one of our most cooperative local employers. And, we've never had any complaints from...
No, well, you wouldn't have. Not from the kids, leastways.
How are they getting along, Mr. Rumbley?
Well, I'm using them mainly for filling in.
They're getting plenty of on-the-job training and all kinds of experience.
Yes.
That's marvellous. No problems with any of them at all.
Well, the usual hiccups, but nothing serious.
Well, I must say, Mr. Rumbley, you are the ideal employer, and not a hint of racial prejudice.
No. Bloody well hope not. Care for a black pudding?
Hundreds of chainsaws, thousands of bloodthirsty slant-eyed seamen, and only 3.5 whales left to go.
Now look!
Oh, Brigshaw, it's you.
I've just been informed that you have arbitrarily terminated the employment of Brother Jameson in the print room.
Is this true, Rogers?
Yes, but obviously he was,
Without, I might add, any consultation whatsoever with either the convener, the Joint Shop Stewards Committee, or myself.
Why was this man dismissed, Rogers?
He was dead, sir.
Dead?
Yes, he was found dead at his machine.
How did he die?
Peacefully in his sleep. I have the death certificate here.
Well, I really can't see the problem. I mean, if Jameson's dead, then we really...
Not officially. Look, it quite categorically states in the Working Practices Manual, death shall be deemed to have occurred when and only when rigor mortis takes place.
I thought we'd agreed on brain death.
No, if you remember, sir, the union felt that brain death might prejudice the status of their living members.
Well, so how long ago did this man die?
Brother Jameson became subject to involuntary immobilization about 18 weeks ago.
18 weeks? Good Lord, rigor mortis must have set in by now.
Well, it hasn't.
No, sir. Mr. Brigshaw had the body strapped to one of the central heating radiators.
Brigshaw.
Safety reasons, I'm afraid. I could not allow my members to take the risk of slipping in the ooze that was emanating from my member.
Ooze? My God, the body must be absolutely...
Oh, and that's another thing. We'll need complete sets of breathing apparatus in the print room, new air conditioning, and, I would suggest, triple wages for Brother Jameson, who throughout this difficult period has been available for work on a 3-shift basis. Oh, and there's one more thing.
What's that?
Could he have next Thursday afternoon off?
Great old chestnuts of the world. Number 8, the Swedish Chemist's shop.
Good afternoon. Can I help you, sir? Yes, I would like some deodorant, please. Ball or aerosol? Neither. I want it for my armpits.
Welcome to Hey Wow. This is a programme that's different. It's not only for you, young people, kids, youth, whatever, it's by you. It's your input that's going to make it. Later on, we've got great music from Lufthansa Terminal. We've got mime from Alternative Car Park. We've got some amazing Greek television commercials. Shut up! Can't you? For God's sake, I can hardly hear myself think. The first issue makes people here very angry indeed. Unemployment.
Oh, not unemployment.
Yes, unemployment.
I'm going to take a back seat now because someone's going to lead us off on unemployment. Oh, for God's sake! Look, I think it'd be better if you came out here in front of the class, the audience. Now, you're unemployed. How do you feel?
The Tories! The Tories!
Don't help him. Well?
Oh, Tories.
And?
When's the band coming on?
When I say so. When I say so. You! Yes, you! Would you do that at home? Well, don't do it here. And you can shut up as well. Out here. Well, have everybody off the scaffolding. Come on, everybody off the scaffolding. There's always someone who has to spoil it for everybody else, isn't there? Isn't there?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, sir.
Now, while we're waiting for Davis's minuscule brain to go through its machinations, the rest of you will watch a mime called, and if there's any sniggering, there'll be trouble, Alternative Car Park. What do you think you're doing? What?
I'm the mime.
Well, why didn't you say so? Right, get on with the mime.
I am a mime. My body is my tool.
All right, who threw that? Who threw that? Mr. Carpark has been kind enough to come here this afternoon all the way from Nottingham. We'll stand here in complete silence until someone owns up. I said complete silence. All right, roll the credits. You look revolting. Have you seen a doctor about that scab?
Let's spend our honeymoon in East Berlin. And though like lemmings we will never swim, the devil's lunar craft makes waves in time. My Asian brother says, spare me a dime. Nice video, shame about the song. Nice video, shame about the song. Subconscious prejudice, a way of life. 'Cause all the citizens of sin are rife. Our friends are castaways, the ship went down. The storm clouds gathering and statesmen drown. Nice video, shame about the song. Nice video, shame about the song. By the river of blood, the children cry. Their eagles ruined by an alibi. The cruel sea of the heartless earth. Oh, this must mean something to me. Nice video, shame about the song. 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 Nice video, shame about the song.
And so the wicked witch died, and everybody was released from her spell. There was laughing and singing in the streets, and there was no more illness, and there were no more poor people, and nobody had to pay taxes, and everybody was happy and contented, and lived happily ever after.
That was a party political broadcast on behalf of the Social Democratic Party.
join us at Turnberry, then, for this year's Pro-Am Silly Trousers tournament. Who can wear the most ridiculous pair of pants in public? And first off the mark is our own Peter Oosterhuis. And my word, they are the most stupid pair of blue-checked strides I think I've ever seen. What a flamboyant little show-off he is. And now Dave Peacock Stockton displaying a pair of canary yellow Everpressed that even Jimmy Savile wouldn't be seen dead in. He's obviously hanging to the left a little bit there, but he's got to be one of the favourites. Oh, and look what Tom Weiskopf got for Christmas. A Rupert Bear annual. There's the hole, and there's his shirt tail sticking out of it. Jack Nicklaus now, and Jack knows that his plain green ones look much too sensible, so he's going to make them look sillier. What's he going to do? He's standing in the river, and yes, they've shrunk. Only Jack could pull off a stroke like that. He looks absolutely idiotic. He must be in with a chance now. But here's the favourite. Here's where the money's going. It's Gene Littler, and it looks like, yes, he's wearing his pyjama bottoms. When it comes to wearing silly trousers, there are no flies on this man. What a professional. What a contender. What a prick.
Good evening. The Laker crash, and it can now be reported that on hearing the news, the chairman of British Airways left his office with tears streaming down his cheeks. He said he hadn't laughed so much in ages.
British Rail are pleased to announce that they now have a train that goes so fast that the passengers can be in bed before the driver.
Entertainment. And Barry Manilow's agent told reporters today why the singer refused to sleep in a single bed at a Brighton hotel last week. Barry prefers a double bed, he explained, because it stops his nose hanging over the side.
Good evening. It's wonderful to be with you again, isn't it, Ronnie?
No, it's a bleeding pain in the arse, frankly. But in a packed programme tonight, you'll be reassured to know we'll be using exactly the same sort of material
as we've used for the last 20 years.
I shall be talking incredibly quickly, making thousands of thoonerisms and dressing up in women's clothing.
And I shan't be getting any laughs because he writes most of the scripts and makes sure I get all the crappy bits.
Later in the show, I shall be implying through smutty innuendo
that I have a very small part
and I have an enormous penis.
And all the way through the show, he shall frequently cry.
Spectacles?
By which he means testicles.
Cobblers?
By which he means testicles.
Didgeridoos?
By which he means penises.
Watermelons?
Breasts.
Articles?
Testicles again.
Bristols?
Breasts again.
And bouncers.
Breasts or testicles.
This is because we are a family show and I will not allow smut into your home.
Like birds, we're ornithologists, ornithologists.
I got a nice pair of binoculars.
You can stick them on your tripod. We're marching up and down on the spot, spot, spot. Cause the sodding choreographers at what? And we couldn't care a jot if we're military men or not. With a bum, how's your father? Puzzly-eyed, day just rolling through the grass. Thistles in me hair and bracken up the anus. I'm through to bits if I see a pair of tits, and I love to watch the sun go down. Oh, vagina, over Chinatown. We're titting up and down on the willy bum bum, wrecking around with the cobblers, nobblers, nippling along with a pain in the bonkers, piddling about in the bun. Yes,
I wear my scarf when the weather turns bitter.
Everybody calls him the muffled titter.
I love it when the birds come a-pecking at me nuts.
Oh, with a bum tit, how's your father? Sickle a dildo, I'm a raven maniac. Got half a dozen chicks in me bivouac. I love to see them squirm with delight when I'm giving them a little bit of worm at night.
J. Arthur Rank and the titty bum Urals, nippling away with a pain in the Balkans, spotty botty wee wee, piddling about in the Jimmy Riddle Candelicker Orchestra. Knickers up and down to me, willy bum coolie, knockers to the Mabary, nympho beaver, knackers in the Baltic, clapper clattering away. So we nicker and we knacker and we knock it all day. Knickers up and down to me, Willy Bum Dooley, knockers to the Maverick, Nick Beaver, knackers in the Baltic, clattering away. So we nicker and we knacker and we knock and we knacker and we nicker and we knacker and we knock it all day.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Captain George Peterson. I'd like to welcome you aboard this Wallaby Airlines flight WA15 to Brisbane. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the flight you're on. We're now flying at 30,000 feet and we're doing approximately 520 knots. Oh my God. Number 2 engines failed. Massive depressurization. We're losing height, ladies and gentlemen. We're going down. We're going to die. No, but seriously, ladies and gentlemen, it can get pretty boring on these domestic jets.
Tonight, we ask the important question, does God exist? And in particular, we direct this question to our guest, the very Reverend Andy Simpson.
Thanks a lot, Angie. Yeah, my answer, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a predictably simple one. Of course, God exists. The proof is all around us. But I want to open that...
Excuse me.
A question from the audience.
If there is a God up there controlling things, why does he allow people doing a good turn to get hurt?
That old chestnut. Yeah. We're all sinful, in a way, aren't we?
Speak for yourself, Padre.
But we will all ultimately be rewarded in heaven, and I think
Hang about, let's get down to cases. I got this opening a tin of cat food yesterday morning, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even like the bloody mothy thing. But I opened its tin of kanga chunks and nearly cut my bloody finger off. Now, why?
God really can't be expected to watch over everyone who's opening a tin of cat food. I'd like to raise the level of this discussion and talk about St. Paul, who started out not...
How is it? A man can stab his wife 80 times with a meat cleaver and not even get a crease in his trousers, while I nearly cut my bloody finger off trying to save the cat from starvation. While there are other lazy people sitting on their asses in front of the telly watching songs of praise, I should think.
Well, God gives us a choice, doesn't he? I mean, a choice to use our gifts wisely or foolishly.
I suppose it's my fault, is it? Yeah.
I'm reminded of the parable of the 9 virgins. 8 of them were wise and used their tin openers diligently, but the 9th was a clumsy, loud-mouthed virgin who kept whittering on about
you're making that up!
Look, there are 6 million cats in this country. How many tins of kanga chunks would God have to watch over to make sure that nerks like you didn't cut their fingers?
I think the point here is that God can't really be expected to be in 2 places at once.
Yes, he can. He's omnipresent, for God's sake. Look, God loves us all.
Doesn't seem to love me very much.
Well, amazingly, he does. It's me who can't stand the sight of
I think we might have exhausted this line of questioning. Could we have the next question from the audience, please? It's a Mr. Bentos from Cheltenham.
Yep, that's me. I'd like to ask, why don't they have a key like they do on tins of corned beef?
Son.
Morning, John.
Morning, my parents.
Did you have a good day yesterday?
I did have a good day yesterday.
You win your tournament, son?
I did win my tournament.
Did you get fined again?
I did get fined again.
Don't slurp your orange juice.
What did you say?
I've told you before not to slurp your orange juice.
You cannot be serious! You cannot be serious! I did not slurp my orange juice! I did not slurp my drink! Did I slurp my drink? Did you hear a sound? Did you hear a sound? Tell me!
I heard a slurping sound.
Jesus Christ, woman! You cannot be serious! I want to bring in Dad. I want to hear what Dad has to say. Let's bring in Dad. Let's hear what Dad has to say.
Did you hear a sound, Patrick?
The drink was slurped.
Jesus Christ! Why am I surrounded by incompetence? Why is everyone against me?
John, why don't you calm down, come and finish your breakfast?
This egg is runny. I must have my eggs boiled for 6 minutes. How long was this egg cooked?
I boiled it for 6 minutes.
You did not boil it for 6 minutes!
Oh, yes, I did.
You didn't. Is this yolk hard? Is this yolk runny? Is this yolk hard? Is this yolk runny? This yolk is runny!
I'm telling you, I boiled it for 6 minutes.
You did not boil. Jesus Christ, Mother! You are the pits of the earth! You are so incompetent! You ought to be made to sit in a pile of puke!
Right, that's enough. Go and sit in another room and have your breakfast. I've had enough of this behavior.
What did I do? What did I say? What did I do? What did I say? What? You said I slurred my drink? You said you boiled my egg for 6 minutes? I did not slurp my drink! I did not boil. I did not. The yolk is runny. I did not.
Go into another room.
What did I do? What did I say? Why is everyone against me? Why I'm right? I'm always right.
Come in. Morning, sir. Morning, gentlemen. Morning. Morning. Thank you. Good morning.
Sit down, too. Now, Rawlinson, we, the directors and I, have been considering the club's recent results.
Yes, sir.
Played 18, won 0, drawn 0, lost 19. This includes, of course, last night's match against Newport County, when you surrendered before kickoff.
Yes, sir.
Now, the directors and myself, we don't want to start apportioning blame or anything. But we did feel that perhaps some new players...
I signed 3 new players last week, sir.
Ah, yes, so you did. Kevin Rawlinson, Gary Rawlinson, and Denny Hotchkiss.
Fine lads, sir.
Perhaps, but by some remarkable turn of fate, Rawlinson, all 3 are your cousins.
That's a lie, sir.
All right, so Denny Hotchkiss is your wife's cousin.
He's a fine, promising youngster, sir.
He's 47.
Not until September, sir.
And as for our so-called youth squad...
Now, sir, I won't have a word said against those lads. I look on those lads like... Well, like a father looks on his son, sir.
They are your sons, Rawlinson.
Coincidentally, sir, yes.
I suppose that's why we signed our new left winger.
Sir, that left winger is there for reasons of skill, pace, and experience.
And because she's your mother?
There is a family connection, sir.
She's your mother, Rawlinson. And she's 81.
Well, she's young for her age, sir.
But you know, all this, Rawlinson, would pale into insignificance if it wasn't for the question of our goalkeeper.
Well, he tries his best.
Tries his best? Rawlinson, how do you think we directors feel sitting in our box come a Saturday, looking down at our goalkeeper, running around in excited little circles, yapping and barking and pausing only to piddle against the goalposts?
Fluffy's been in the family for years, sir.
I'm surprised you don't play your blasted cat.
It's got a groin strain. I suppose this is it, then, is it? A sack? Another Football League manager fired?
Now, Rawlinson, listen to me. This club isn't like the others. We don't sack our managers just because you lose a few games. So we're going to give you one last chance. Win on Saturday, and your job is safe.
Thank you, Uncle Norris. Thank you.
Oh, it's time once again for 2 perfectly ordinary families to pit their perfectly ordinary wits against themselves in a perfectly ordinary bout of mental arm wrestling by Jiminy. Taking part tonight are the Brainy family from Croydon. Mr. Giles Brainy is a quantity surveyor.
Hello.
His wife, Serena Brainy, is a quantity surveyor. Hello. And their children are Julian, 16, and Nigel, 15, who are quantity surveyors.
Hello.
Into the lists against them are the Smart Arse family from Cambridge. Mr. Giles Smart Arse is a quantity surveyor.
Hello.
His wife Serena Smart Arse is a quantity surveyor. Hello. And their children are Julian, 16, and Nigel, 15, who are both quantity surveyor. We're now going to show you a perfectly ordinary BBC programme about quantity surveying.
We are all here to pay tribute to a very beautiful, but a very oppressed country. Isn't that right, Tony?
That's right, Jack. And the nominations are El Salvador, Wales, Afghanistan, and Poland. And the winner is... Hey, Poland!
Tonight, by satellite, Hollywood pays tribute to Poland.
But the big question everyone is asking tonight is, where is Lech Walliser?
Well, one thing is for sure, he ain't here. No, he's been detained elsewhere, but Tony and I would like to pay tribute to him
by announcing the award for Pole of the Year.
And the nominations are General Yaroselsky, General Zabrovsky, General Krimonov, and Leech Weltzer. And the winner is Leech Weltzer, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, unfortunately, Lech couldn't be here with us tonight. But to accept the award on his behalf, we have a former Pole, Stefan Yanofsky, better known as Steve York.
You know, it's awful sad that Lush can't be with us tonight. As I'm reminded of something that John Wayne said to me when I was on the set with Bill Holden. And Natalie Wood. He said, Bing Crosby was there as well, as a matter of fact. He said, the only good pole is a deed pole. Or something like that, anyway.
And now, it is my tremendous privilege to have on the end of the line here the President of the United States. Hello, Mr. President.
Friends and fellow lovers of Poland. You know, this is a very sad occasion for me. Only the other day, I was introduced to a little Polish boy. His grandfather is still in Poland, enduring the hardships of an oppressive regime. He only earns 2 pesetas a week. But let me tell you, that old man, despite all the hardships, still manages to put on a clean pair of underpants every day. And you know, by the end of the week, he can't get his trousers on.
Thank you, Mr. President. Very kind. Well, that draws our celebrations for tonight to a conclusion. And to finish us all off, we have Mr. Frank Sinatra
and Miss Barbara Streisand with a song we all have in our hearts for Lucky Poland.
There's no land like Poland. It's not a slow land. It is a get up and go land. So walk on right between the buttons, blacks. Tell those Ruskies to move their butts out of town. Tell General Jarawelski. It's gonna help me. Tell them Frankie. Say, hey, you, quit that clamping down. Take me home to Poland. Gdansk is my kind of town.
Mr. Smartass, how many quantity surveyors were to the left of the bird with the big tits?
Sprinterman, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
I believe you told us yesterday that after leaving the hospital on the night in question, you went straight home.
Yes.
Did anyone see you entering your house?
No.
Milad, There's one thing very vital lacking from Mrs. Pinterman's account so far, and that is the alibi. The alibi is the crucial matter in this case. The alibi is what we're looking for. So where is the alibi?
What is the alibi?
Yes, Mr. Davis, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court the precise meaning of this word.
An alibi, my lord, is defined as being a plea that when an act took place, one was elsewhere.
Oh, an alibi.
Is that what you mean, Mr. Davis?
My lord, are we going to let phonetic discrepancies deter us from the facts? The facts are no one saw Mrs. Pinterman entering her house, and ultimately she has no alibi.
She has no alibi.
Ah, even my learned counsel for the defense admits it. His client is guilty.
What are you talking about?
Gwilt! Gwilt! Why, even her very identity is in doubt. Mrs. Pinterman, have you or have you not in the past gone under an alias? What? Have you used an alias, my lad? The question is crucial.
But we don't understand the question, Mr. Davis. What is an alias?
An alias? An alias? I can scarcely believe my ears. It's a common enough legal term.
I've never heard of it.
Well, I'll refer you to any number of standard reference works. Goldsmith, Armitage, and Berlin, Teach Yourself Law, Book 4. The Open University Criminology Course, Part 1. The Perry Mason Book for Boys, 1962. An alias is defined as the assumption of an alternative identity for nefarious purposes.
Nefarious purposes?
Precisely, my lord. We have heard it all end.
Alleged.
That this woman visited her spoliums on that fatal night.
Fatal night.
But I submit she is little more than a common public nuisance.
Nuisance.
And her whole testimony is little more than a tissue of lies.
A tissue, a tissue.
Yes, my lord. As the bard put it, hell hath no fury like a woman scrawled.
I don't understand.
Quiet! This case has been one of the most difficult and embarrassing of my long career. You are an evil and malicious young trollop who has willfully committed an evil crime, and yet you have come to this court and without any consideration forced this unfortunate young man to behave like a cross between a human vegetable and Ronnie Barker. You are someone who wantonly thrusts herself upon men for sexual fantasy wherever you may find them. Perhaps you'd like to join me for lunch.
Another row over perks and fiddling amongst BR staff exploded this afternoon when the 235 from King's Cross was found in the driver's garage.
And we've just heard that Barry Manilow is currently being held in custody in Los Angeles under the Nose Abatement Act.
Complications have set in for the London woman who fitted herself with a homemade contraceptive coil. She's now expecting a baby in the spring.
People always think of the British Museum as being a rather dark and stuffy place that's full of mouldy old relics that don't mean anything to anybody. Well, the other day I went over there to find out if it was really true, and I made two new friends, Jean-Pierre and Hugo. Hugo, what do you think of the British Museum?
Well, it's an interesting building, isn't it? Its primary purpose is, of course, functional.
Right.
Really, it's a sort of large container of treasures rather than a treasure itself.
Right. Jean-Pierre, you're saying not to agree with
Of course
me.
I don't agree. Who is this man? He is an insult to me.
Right, well, what do you think of the British Museum, then?
Me, I am disgusted by it, of course. Who is this man, Hugo? Its primary purpose is, of course, functional. What a load of willies! Its primary purpose is, of course, sexual. It is a massive assertion of the phallic power of London. These huge columns plunging into Mother Earth.
That's a rather unorthodox point of view, isn't it?
Unorthodox? Who would not be unorthodox in a country like this where everyone is so repressed? Prince Charles, he gets married in St. Paul's. This enormous titty. The biggest titty in the world. And who mentions it? No one. No one!
Well, if I say so, I mean, anyone who's watching this is going to think that you're completely potty.
Potty? Of course I am potty. Who would not be a potty in a country where the Houses of Parliament are erected in the shadow of something called Big Ben that every hour says dong?
Aren't you just sex mad?
Who will not be sex mad in a country where they erect an enormous phallus in the centre of London and call it Nelson's Column? Nelson's Column? Pah! It is Nelson's Willy! That's what it is, Nelson's Willy! A huge, massive, private part, exposed to the air, penetrating the skies in the hope that the Union will produce another Nelson with another phenomenally large Willy. And all people say the post office tower. The post office tower? Pah! It is a post office prick, plunging the skies in the hope.
That's the end of this series.
Some little baby towers.
It's as though we're all going our separate ways now. We've had some good times and some bad times, haven't we, Mel?
Yes, Ron, we have. You know, it's funny, no matter how much you try and forget the old times, the memory kind of lingers, doesn't it?
Wise man once said, all good things must end. It's been the theme of many singers who tell us goodbye is the hardest word to say. So let's just say,
Connie lingers. I never thought it would come to this, saying kinda lingers and then walking away. But at least it's better than saying goodbye, 'cause goodbye is the hardest word to say. So we'll sing kinda lingers, we've had some fun. Kinda lingers, but what's done is done. Kinda lingers, you'll soon find someone new who'll never say kinda lingers to you. Kinda lingers.
Kinda lingers, Mel.
Kinda lingers.
Kinda lingers, me old mate.
Kinda lingers.
Kinda lingers, Pam?
Come on, not much further. Come on, that's very good. You're going to make it. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yes, nearly. And... well done. Very good. Well, perhaps you'd like to try it now without Mr. Johnson.
Why don't you grow up, you little bastards?
What's going on, darling?
Nothing, I'm just talking to the plants.